Top 10 things to do in Athens, Greece. If you're a history buff, you're in for a treat today. Greece is like a history book, but the best things to do in Athens extend far beyond this. Although developing the concept of Western culture is cool, creativity stands higher. In Athens, even the cuisine is unbelievably amazing. In a word, Athens is fantastic. So here are the best things to do in Athens. Number 10. Visit the Temple of Hephaestus. The Temple of Hephaestus is a Doric Periptera temple that sits atop the 65-meter Agoros Kolonos hill on the northwest side of Athens Agora. It was built in the second half of the 5th century BC, but construction was delayed for 3 decades due to funds and labor being redirected toward the Parthenon. The temple was designed by Ictinus and dedicated to Athena and Hephaestus. They are the ancient gods of fire, forges, metalworking, sculpture, and stonemasonry. It has 6 fluted columns on its west side and 13 on its north and south sides. There are also numerous sculpted elements, ranging from the labors of Hercules on the east side to the pronaos and the upstadomos. This shows the battle of centaurs and lapiths and Theseus with the Pallantides. Number 9. Get a seat at Odeon of Herodes Atticus. The Athenian magnate Herodes Atticus ordered the construction of this Roman-era concert hall in 161 AD, most likely in memory of his wife, Aspasia Ania Regilla. It had a cedar wood roof at the time and could seat 5,000 until Hercules destroyed it in 275. The monument faded into the earth over the next 1,700 years, and visitors in the medieval period had no idea what the ruins meant. The first excavation was carried out in 1848 by archaeologist Kyriakos Patakis and writer Alexandros Rizos Ranjavis, and was witnessed by Otto of Greece. The theater was restored in the 1950s when the stone tiers were redeveloped using the same marble from Mount Pentelicus. So don't forget to get a seat for an evening concert to experience the Odeon as the Athenians did 2,000 years ago. Number 8. Take a tour of Panathinaike Stadium. The Panathinaike Stadium was built for the 1896 Olympics and is a modern reconstruction of an ancient stadium built for the Panathinaike Games in 330 BC. 200 years later, the Athenian Roman senator Herodes Atticus recreated the ancient monument in marble. The Panathinaike Stadium, with its U-shaped layout, is an almost exact replica of the 2nd century BC structure. Like its ancient ancestor, it is entirely composed of marble. During the 2004 Athens Olympics, it hosted archery events. It served as the finish line for both the men's and women's marathons. The stadium has a capacity of 45,000 spectators and offers views of the Acropolis and the National Garden from its highest tiers. Number 7. Visit the National Archaeological Museum. Athens National Archaeological Museum is one of the world's largest and richest collections of ancient art. The galleries are jam-packed with star exhibits that have been beguiling scholars for generations. You'll find the monuments from the Antikythera wreck, discovered in 1900 and dating back to the 4th century BC. They had created Antikythera mechanism, the world's oldest analog computer, and the contemplative philosopher's head. The Mask of Agamemnon is a gold funerary mask from the 16th century BC that was most likely made from Mycenaean royalty, but was too early for Agamemnon. Don't forget the Eleusinian relief from the 5th century BC, Bronze Age frescoes from Santorini and Thera, and the Jockey of Artemision, a beguiling racehorse statue from 150 to 140 BC. Number 6. The Temple of Poseidon at Saunion. The Temple of Poseidon, god of the sea, is located on a hill overlooking the sea at the very tip of Attiki Peninsula. It boasts not only Lord Byron's carved graffiti, but also the best sunsets after Santorini. There's a small beach below and a sea that looks and feels like the islands, as well as 2 small fish tavernas and many more along the way. Go in the late afternoon, swim, drink ouzo, eat mazzetis, and watch the sunset before returning to Athens for a quick shower and nap before going out to dinner and possibly out on the town later. Okay, it isn't exactly in Athens, but you should still come here. Number 5. Take a walk at the Plaka. A stroll through Athens' oldest neighborhood is a must. and one of the most enjoyable activities you shouldn't miss. Hundreds of shops range from kitschy tourist traps to the workshops of some truly talented artisans. There are several good restaurants with outdoor seating almost all year. When it's too cold to sit outside, there are some nice little ouzouries that are cozy. The Outdoor Cine Paris, where you can watch a movie on the roof of a building beneath the illuminated walls of the Acropolis, could do the same. Ancient Greek and Roman ruins are scattered about, as well as some lovely 19th century and older structures and several Byzantine churches. Not to mention Anafiotica, the neighborhood closest to the Acropolis' stone slope, where you can wander around and pretend you're on an island in the middle of the Aegean Sea rather than an island in the middle of a modern city. Number 4. Climb Mount Lycabettus. Perhaps you saw this green mountain rising out of the center of Athens and thought to yourself, I hope there's nothing important up there, because I don't feel like climbing a mountain. But there is something important up there. A fantastic view. There's also a great cafe and a theater where you can see famous actors like Leonard Cohen, Peter Gabriel, James Brown, and many others who visit Greece during the summer. There's no more impressive place to see your favorite band or musician than between Lycabettus and the Theater of Here at Atticus beneath the Acropolis. You don't even have to climb. There's an odd-looking train that will take you almost to the summit. Walking down is fun because you never know which neighborhood you'll end up in. Look up Mount Lycabettus. Climbing Philippopou Hill, right across the road from the Acropolis, is a good substitute if that seems too daunting. Number 3. Pay a visit to Acropolis Museum. Swiss architect Bernard Tschumi designed the Acropolis Museum. It's located on the southeast slope. It was unveiled in 2009 to present thousands of artifacts discovered on the Acropolis archaeological site. The museum is cleverly oriented to give you endless views of the Parthenon, and much of the ground floor has open spaces and glass panels showing the foundation below. Visitors are taken on a chronological journey through the centuries on 3 levels, beginning with the Hale's archaic discoveries in a large trapezoidal hall that also includes findings from the Erechtheion, the Propylaea Gateway, and the Temple of Athena Nike. Following this, you ascend to marvel at the marbles from the Parthenon's frieze and pediments in a hall with the same dimensions, column spacing, and orientation as the temple. The tour then continues back down through Roman and early Christian Athens. Number 2. Marvel at Parthenon. The Parthenon is a symbol of Western civilization and Athenian democracy. It's regarded as the most outstanding achievement of the Doric order and classical Greece's most significant building to survive into the 21st century. The Parthenon was dedicated to the goddess Athena and built in 447 BC, when the Athenian Empire ruled the Aegean. It was co-designed by Actinus and Callicrates. It served as a city treasury before becoming a church in the 6th century and a mosque in the 1460s. Some of the Parthenon sculptures were infamously robbed by the Earl of Elgin at the beginning of the 18th century and later sold to the British Museum. The Acropolis Museum that follows features the remainder of the original frieze and pediment sculpture. Number 1. Spend a day at Acropolis. The most popular thing in Athens is visiting the 5th century Acropolis. Of course, this means that everyone wants to go, including cruise ship passengers. The Acropolis is located on a rocky outcrop above the city. It contains world-renowned classical landmarks that people wait their entire lives to see in person. The Parthenon is the most visited attraction on the Acropolis. Still, there are several other structures on the hill to see, including the Aeroporion, the Erechtheion, and the Temple of Athena Nike. The Acropolis offers panoramic views of Athens and all the way to the sea. Join a private walking tour to learn about all the incredible histories. The path is steep and slippery on weathered marble until you reach the flat summit. Be prepared for cranes and scaffolding, which are understandable requirements for a World Heritage Site. So that's all for today's video. If you made it this far, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. Thanks for watching!